So meet Eagle Scout.
Oh, wow.
I got my,
Oh, yeah, we'll just here.
got my flag on.
Okay.
Keith has an American flag. So, I pledge allegiance
So bizarre.
to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very nice.
Thank you. Sorry, I usually check that before we get going. Let's see, tonight we have two recognitions. First, please welcome Jen Rogers, Senior Youth Market Director with the American Heart Association. Good evening.
Is this on? Am I on? Okay. Well, good evening. Thank you so much. I didn't know I was like first on the show here, but my name, as you just heard, is Jen Rogers, and I am a Senior Youth Market Director for the American Heart Association. And first, I want to thank the school board, Dr. Marty and Dr. Madison, for having me here just to speak for a few minutes and kind of brag on your schools in your district. I have actually been with the American Heart Association for 4 years, working a southern part of the territory, and most of you probably know Julie Hederman. Well, she retired, unfortunately, at the end of the school year, so I've taken over her position, and will have the honor now of working with the Parkway School District, so I'm so excited about continuing that partnership. But our mission at the American Heart Association is to be a relentless force for a world of longer, healthier lives. And I have a passion for this because my story, or my why, is for my dad. He had a heart attack, I think he's 4 years. He's going on 4 years now, in the Widowmaker, and it was a very close call. So luckily they got that stent in there and saved his life. So that is where my passion comes from. But my position and my passion is also to carry out our mission with the youth in our communities and be involved in the schools and be a solid resource for the Parkway School District and the other school districts that I work with in building a culture of health. Last year we had a little transition year, and we went from our educational program that used to be called Jump Rope for Heart and changed the name to Kids Heart Challenge. And so the fun thing about it is we actually asked our students to take the challenge, and then we further had them go a little bit further and go home and ask their parents and their families to take the challenge. And they could do things like 60 minutes of activity a day, drinking more water, doing a good deed, being kind. And this year we have some new challenges for them to take, some being be prepared. So whatever it is it school, is it your soccer practice, how can you be prepared and how can we help you be successful, to be active and to be kind. We have a lot of work to do with heart disease being the #1 cause of death, and 1 in 5 children are obese. So we definitely are working through these programs to help your children make that healthy choice, the easy choice. So we have many resources that we offer to our schools. We enhanced our focus, and I love this part that kind of came out last year. We enhanced our focus on the whole school, the whole community, and the whole child. And we support our schools and advocate for our schools to ensure health, well-being, and success of each of the students and staff, especially here in the Parkway District, but also around the state of Missouri and the United States. We're able to invest more back into the schools through resources for PE and classrooms in the schools, give backs, a huge grant program. We gave out $400,000 in grants last year, and about $155,000 of it was right here in the Midwest, so we're super proud of that. And also our program offers professional development to your PE teachers or anyone who participates. Parkway School District has been a huge part of our educational programs for many, many years, and we value our relationship with you. The participating schools make an amazing impact in carrying out that mission. So I'm here to say thank you. Thank you for your commitment, thank you for your support, and thank you for making that impact, because we could not do it without you. So in the state of Missouri, I thought this was an impressive number. If you all have this mission meeting sheet, it just highlights where the donations go and how it all works and what we advocate for. But 108,000 students in the state of Missouri participated in our educational program. And just in Missouri, the Heart Association funded over $10 million in research and studies. And who is a huge, huge part of that? Your students. They do some amazing things. And you also should maybe have a copy of the honor roll. But as a school district, they came together and raised $67,128. So I am so excited to be here to present that total, because that's an amazing thing that they did. And you guys, your school district was number 8 in the state of Missouri. I want to highlight in my end here a couple of our superstars in the district. And forgive me if I mispronounce the last names, but we have Mandy Ratchard and Josh Gannon at Shenandoah Valley. They raised over $13,000. Ron Ramspot and Leanna Cordoville at Oak Brook Elementary raised over $11,000. And then Barb Russell and Jay Haley at Barrett's Elementary raised almost $9,000. So they did an amazing job. But all of your PE teachers in the district, I'm so excited to get to know them, but you have some great teachers out there that are doing really good things. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, but on behalf of the American Heart Association, Dr. Marty, Dr. Madison, and all of you, thank you for your commitment and support to helping us save lives and keeping your community healthy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just want to say, where's Eddie? Oh, there's Eddie. He and Jan are already working together and some plans for this year, I think, right? We're going to try to continue that number and see if we can pull some more programs together, maybe middle and high school, a little bit more activity. So we're trying to continue the good work. So thank you, Jen, so much.
Thank you.
Next, please welcome Dr. Kevin Beckner, Assistant Superintendent of Teaching, Learning, and Accountability.
Thank you very much, President Todd, Vice President Hopper, members of the board, Dr. Marty. Ms. Stover, the International Society for Technology and Education, or ISTE, is a nonprofit organization that works with the global education community to accelerate the use of technology and solve tough problems. Through the ISTE standards, which is a framework for students, educators, administrators, and coaches to rethink education, ISTE aims to inspire the creation of innovative learning environments for students of today and students of tomorrow. Here at Parkway, we're incredibly fortunate to have an individual who has gained a national reputation for leadership around technology integration, transformation of learning spaces, digital citizenship, digital reading, and a host of other technology-related topics. Bill Bass, our innovation coordinator, who's responsible for technology integration and library media services, was recognized by his peers from around the nation through his election to the ISTE Board of Directors in December of 2015. In December of 2017, Bill was elected as incoming president of the ISTE Board of Directors for a term that runs from this calendar year through December of 2020, an honor for which we recognize him tonight. Bill's election to this role signifies the respect of his colleagues and is a testament to his work in areas of leadership and technology integration. Bill's leadership with ISTE continues to benefit Parkway teachers, leaders, and students. Through his position with ISTE, Bill gains exposure and insight into both best practices and cutting-edge developments in educational technology, and he is able to bring those back to our district and share with our teachers and our leaders. Tonight, we recognize Bill, and we celebrate Bill Bass on his election to and service as the president of the ISTE Board of Directors. Congratulations, Bill. Come on down.
So thank you so much for this. This is my 15th year in Parkway, and I've spent a lot of time, most of that time in technology and in instruction, and that is kind of what I have pretty much dedicated my career to, is to make education better through the use of technology and through instruction, but not through the focus on technology, but really through the focus on learning. So that's my work with ISTE. I spend a lot of time working in that capacity and trying to not just for Parkway, but representing Parkway and representing kids all over the world as we try to continue to make technology more meaningful and relevant for the work that kids are doing and their lives going forward. So thank you so much.
Bill, I know ISTE is one of the premier
organizations. Do you have any numbers? I mean, how many members or schools, or do you have any data? Just because I know I mean, this is a big
Yeah.
deal. I mean, Kevin said it, but I mean, give us some number. I mean, this is.
So we have about, it varies year to year, but we have between 60 and 80,000 members worldwide. And every summer we have the biggest ed tech conference in the world. So last summer, it was in Chicago. Many Parkway teachers went. There were 26,000 people there. This year, it was in Philadelphia, and so there are about 20,000 people there. We have a set of internationally recognized standards around the use of technology, and it's not so much, it used to be around what to do with technology, but now it's who we want the kids to be when it comes to technology. So the ISTE standards for students, there's ISTE standards for students, teachers, leaders, coaches, and computer science. And so we focus a lot on the learning sciences, but how technology can transform our students' experiences through the use of technology. And so, yeah, I mean, it's big. There's a lot of people that are involved in it, and has a pretty well recognized name. So.
Well, there's no doubt we wouldn't be the district that we are without your involvement and your push towards getting us to learn in so many different ways, new ways, and so we really appreciate your service to Parkway.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So why don't you come down the line and shake our hands? We didn't get out
Okay,
front.
I'll be happy.
Thanks so much. Congratulations. And you?
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
You can come back.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to 6.0, additions, corrections, and modifications to agenda. I have 6.01 addendums to agenda item 10.07, approval of personnel items. 6.02, addition to agenda item 10.34, approval of authorization for disposal of surplus property. And 6.03, addition of agenda item 10.35, approval of renewal of junior achievement. Next, we have citizen statements, and my magic screen says we have none tonight. 8.0, approval of agenda. May I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda for the regular meeting of the Board of Education as scheduled for August 7th, 2019?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. 9.0, calendar of meetings. The next regular board meeting will take place on Wednesday, September 11th, 2019, beginning at 7 p.m. right here at Central Middle School. Next, we'll move on to board liaison reports, and you're probably wondering, there's only 4 of us here tonight, so we do have an official meeting. We have at least one board member who will join us, hopefully momentarily. His flight was delayed. No?
May not make it.
Definitely not. So we have 3 who will not be able to join us tonight. But we have 4 of us, so you can hear what we've been up to. And we'll start down there at the end with Pam.
Okay. Well, this summer has been a summer of learning for me since I don't know how much longer I can say I'm a new board member. Is that starting to run out?
Yeah.
But some of you may or may not know that all school board members, according to state law, have to go through 16 hours of training with the Missouri School Boards Association in their first year of service. And I'm happy to say that I've completed all 16 hours. 8 are online and 8 are actually in person at the Missouri School Boards Association. And mine was really interesting because I went to the one in Columbia. I couldn't make the one in St. Louis. And sitting around a table with people from districts where there are about 18,000 kids, and then another where there are about 140 kids, K-12, it really showed the different challenges that boards face and how different the school districts throughout the state are, and that was just very interesting to me. We get the chance to learn about school law, about the roles of boards of directors, about how you relate to the staff members in the district. It was a very good training, and I feel like I'm constantly learning. I also got to go to a seminar that's done by our attorneys, the law firm, that Tuath Keeney, that represents our district. And I'm just going to stumble through this, it seems. But the other thing I got to do this summer is I went on the tour of our summer school classes. Got to go to Claymont Elementary and to Parkway West Middle and High School and see all of the great and interesting things that our students are doing over summer school. We have a summer school program here that's second to none. And I have observed it as a parent because my kids have been in summer school ever since we moved into this district. That's how a mom who works from home gets a little extra work in over the summer. But I got to see some things that I hadn't seen before because my students weren't involved in them. So I was very grateful to be able to go into those schools and see what the students are doing. That's it.
Okay. Two things. This morning I got to see Buster the Bus teach the Barrett's elementary kids bus safety. If you guys haven't seen Buster, he's a little robotic school bus that like drives around and teaches them how to like not go in front of the bus and not go behind the bus. And then they rode the bus. And they were all very amused because the bus driver sang "Highway to the Danger Zone" while pointing out all the things not to do. So that was good. That went well this morning. We did have a meeting of, I think you all know that I was part of last year starting the St. Louis County School Board's professional learning community. So an effort to bring board members from all of the districts in the county together for learning opportunities, recognizing that there's things that affect all of us. So we had a meeting back in the spring that the planning team put together where we brought in Ready by 21 to present their work on lifting kind of the region's kids up. And we're working on planning a second gathering that tentatively is scheduled for November 9th. And again, that's for school board members of any school districts in St. Louis County. Still figuring out the agenda for that, but possible topics that groups are interested in include kind of career pathways and including technical education and how do we think about how that works into our plans. Having Dr. Jason Purnell, who many of you may or may not know, he's with Washington University and runs Health Equity Works and is responsible for lifting out a lot of the equity data in the region. But was pretty involved and is pretty involved in work to get school-based health centers started across the state and was involved in getting school-based health centers started at Hazelwood and Riverview Gardens, I think is the other district that has one. So talking about his work and kind of the work of those groups to get like healthcare services available to students who otherwise might not have access to them through having them in the schools. So possibly him coming to talk about that work and how they made that happen and kind of efforts of the state to make that more broadly available. And the other topic people are just interested in learning more about is financing of public education and how that kind of can lead to inequities amongst the region. So just getting a better grounding in how that all happens and why. So anyways, that agenda is still very much in development, but those are topics that are kind of being considered.
Is November 9th a pretty sure date?
I think it's pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Although it's
so
probably...
we'll kind of guard it? We should guard it, right?
Guard it, yes, guard it.
Okay.
I think probably at Kirkwood is going to host this one, but I will let you all know. The first one was pretty well attended. I think, yeah, it was pretty well attended. I can't remember the numbers, but you know, we really worked hard to reach out to board members at every single kind of St. Louis County school district and SSD. So that's it.
Last week, there's been a lot of back-to-school events taking place. All of us are getting ready to get back on track next week with the start of school on Tuesday, August the 13th. And then we have new student orientation on Monday, along with 6th graders and 9th graders orientation on Monday as well. So last week, I did attend the all-administrator back-to-school Happy New Year celebration that they call it, and I was just so impressed with. I stayed for the morning part of it. I'm very impressed with Margie Van de Veen that came as our Commissioner of Education and heard her lecture and the impact that she had. And I think my one takeaway that I came from with that is how experienced and seasoned our administrators are. We have a group of administrators that I think nobody is less than 5 years, maybe 10 years of experience. So we've got some phenomenal administrators that are just bringing a wealth of experience to this district, and I was very proud to see how much all of our administrators are bringing their experience to the Parkway District, which we can only benefit from.
Thank you. I joined with Pam and Kevin also on the summer school tour, and it's always great to be in different buildings and see what different programs are going on in the summer, and it really seemed like our kids were very engaged and enjoyed the different variety of classes that were offered. I participated with, Chelsea was there, a couple others, but we were invited by a teacher at Wren during summer school that was hosting a Build a Business class. And she was teaching this class for elementary school kids, and it was kind of like the Spark program, but it was for elementary kids, and we had a lot of kids wanting to sell slime and some different things like that. But it was interesting, and we had a little pitch competition there, and so they presented their projects, and it was a neat opportunity for the kids. Matt couldn't be here tonight, but he and I attended the district's 4E training and intruder drill training that we expect all of our building personnel to go through, and that was a very eye-opening, insightful experience that really gave us an understanding of the responsibilities that we're asking our teachers and staff to take on as being in charge of these 17,000 kids. It's not something that we want to particularly do, but unfortunately in today's world we feel the need to do that to hopefully be prepared for something we never have to deal with. Like Debbie mentioned, we've got a host of welcome back events that she's attended. Keith and I have been attending. Everything from new teachers to bus drivers and coaches were yesterday. Nutrition services was today. I think our nurses are on Friday, and so we're spending time welcoming back those that are returning to their positions, and a lot of new faces. A lot of new bus drivers, a lot of new food service workers, and certainly new teachers. I think 93 new teachers in the district, and so it's been great to see some of the new faces and hear the stories of how classrooms are decorated, and people are looking forward to their new responsibilities. So it's always very heartwarming at the beginning of school as things kind of ramp up. I will mention we don't have any dates yet, but we do plan on continuing the board chats that we began last year. So as we come up with some dates and locations and opportunities, we'll certainly pass that along to the community.
I'll just add, by the way, Jeff's done a great job in the welcoming, and glad Debbie could join us with the administrators last week. Today I was at Adventure Club kickoff, the two districts do this together at Rockwood, and good news. We heard that also with the bus drivers. We're almost entirely got bus drivers. We were kind of worried about the shortage of drivers, so we're ready to go. And it's the same thing with Adventure Club. They hired, just yesterday, they hired 9 Adventure Club staff members just yesterday. So they've done a little promo. Then you've seen the signs about, so they're continuing. Now, doesn't mean that some of our young people aren't going to be on a wait list. We'll still have a little bit of that, but not to the extent that we worried about. So good news on the employment front with Adventure Club and bus drivers, and I think nutrition is fully staffed as well. And all teachers in Parkway return tomorrow. They're back tomorrow for getting ready for as we said, the first day of school on Tuesday. So, and I will say, and I think you've seen this, you're welcome, board members, to join me next week. I'll be around. I know Jeff and I think Christy's going to join. So please, if you want to join any part of my running around the district next week, I'm going to take the 4 days and be in a section of the district each day. So it's always an exciting time. So thank you.
Thank you. Now may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented in the August 7th, 2019 board materials?
So moved.
Second? Okay. Is there anything to be pulled to action or closed? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. We have no action items. We have no policy review tonight. We have no official reports tonight. However, we do have a work session. So I'd like to call on Dr. Patrick Shelton, Coordinator of Customized Learning, to share with us information about Parkway's Mosaics Academy Targeted Evaluation.
Good evening, President Todd, Vice President Hopper, members of the board, Dr. Marty, Stover, yes. Tonight I'll be providing a brief overview of the upcoming targeted evaluation that's going to be conducted for the Mosaics Academy Middle School program. I'm going to provide a brief history of the Mosaics Academy in Parkway, discuss the purpose of the targeted evaluation, describe the evaluation process, and then invite any input or feedback you'd like to share. The Mosaics Academy first started at Parkway in 2009-2010 school year as an alternative to paying tuition for Parkway students to attend the PEGS program, which is located in the Lindbergh School District. The PEGS program was started as a regional public school program to serve students in St. Louis County who were identified as exceptionally gifted. An exceptionally gifted student is one who is shown through testing to have a cognitive ability higher than 99.5% of the population. The goal of the Academy, reinforced in the last comprehensive program evaluation, is to provide highly gifted students with learning opportunities to develop social, affective, creative, and academic skills necessary to become productive members of society, their personal success, interpersonal relationships, and self-fulfillment. Currently, in order to be considered for the Academy, students who are already identified as gifted learners complete an application and undergo a comprehensive evaluation, which includes additional assessment of their academic and cognitive abilities. Students are invited to apply to attend the Academy at the elementary level beginning in 2nd grade, although many students continue to apply through 6th grade. The average Academy student possesses an IQ of 139 or higher and is performing at least 2 grade levels above their peers, or in the top 0.5% to 1% of students nationally. We often refer to students who participate in the Academy as one-trial learners. They need to see, experience, or do something one time before it's been committed to memory and they're ready to move on to the next learning opportunity. The beginnings of the target evaluation were initiated by concerns that were expressed from parents, staff, and students regarding the programming offered for Academy students and the progression of academic courses. As a result of those concerns, the targeted evaluation appeared to be the logical step to evaluate the programming available and determine the impact that that programming was having on our exceptionally gifted learners. The goal of the target evaluation is twofold. First, to identify the academic, cognitive, and social-emotional needs of middle school students who are identified as exceptionally gifted. And second, that's okay, to identify and make recommendations for programming required to meet the needs of students in Parkway who are identified as exceptionally gifted. Our gifted learners have a variety of needs which we need to be responsive to in all realms of their educational experience in Parkway. Our goal is to have the evaluation and recommendations completed by the middle of October and be prepared to implement those recommendations in the 2021 school year. The evaluation process will be comprised by a team of staff who represent educators from across the district who also interact with Academy students either directly or indirectly, including middle school administrators, middle and high school counselors, elementary and middle school Academy staff, middle school content teachers, and middle school content coordinators. The members of this team will be charged with learning, providing input, and analyzing data regarding the needs of exceptionally gifted students. Initially, our learning will be focused on the needs of our exceptionally gifted students at the middle school level and how to best program for those needs. And then couple that learning with the feedback that we receive from others who have interacted with our Academy program, including parents and current and former staff members, community members, and experts in the area of gifted education. Okay. As part of the evaluation process, we'll be providing multiple opportunities for parents and community members to provide input and feedback regarding the needs and programming for our students who are identified as exceptionally gifted learners. Our input process will include 3 opportunities for involvement. First, we'll be inviting stakeholders to participate in one of 4 focus groups. These stakeholders will include parents, community, and current and former staff who have had experiences with students who've participated in the Academy. Second, we'll be developing and sending out an online survey for all stakeholders to participate and give input. And then finally, after developing draft proposals, we'll be inviting parents and community members, including experts in the field of gifted education, to attend feedback sessions to provide input and feedback regarding the proposals that are created. The timeline for the evaluation begins with an initial meeting with the evaluation team on August 20th, followed by the online survey and focus groups conducted at the end of August. The team will meet a minimum of 4 times with additional input and feedback sought from the focus groups, surveys, and feedback groups prior to developing those final recommendations. And we'll follow up with the board through a memo, which will provide a report of the evaluation. At this point, I'm happy to take any questions or feedback that you might have. And if you need me to repeat anything when I didn't have the mic, I'm happy to do that as well.
I would like to ask a point of clarification. Gifted Education versus Mosaics Academy, are they two different things?
So the Mosaics Academy is the overall umbrella term in Parkway for gifted education.
Okay.
The Academy is what is referred to in the report in our evaluation as a level 4 service, so the most intensive, highest need gifted students. Level 3 would be the Mosaics programming that's available at all elementary and middle schools for gifted
Okay.
students.
And when you talk about academy staff, what are the qualifications for staff that teach in the academy?
So
How
at
are
the
they-
elementary level, they have to be certified as gifted K-12. At the middle school level, they have to be certified in gifted, and we request content certification, and then we request gifted certification. So the content certification is required because that's their teacher of record for that content. Gifted certification is preferred, and normally that's what we get.
Okay. And another question that I had is with respect to the community members that are involved in the evaluation process and providing feedback. Will there be any individuals who are outside of the district that are highly qualified and do, like, maybe from our mental health task force, or researchers, professors, counselors that deal specifically with this level of student?
So yes, we'll be inviting some of those folks. We haven't identified who that group is, but that's part of the target population that we want to identify, especially to give feedback on whatever the draft proposals that the team creates.
And are you talking to any other gifted programs throughout the state, the local community, the country?
So
to find out
currently,
what
the
they do
PEGS
that works?
program is really the only area program that's alongside ours that's like. I believe there's one in St. Charles County that operates similarly, but a little bit differently, and then there are a couple on the Kansas City side. So we have communicated off and on with some of those, and that'll be up to the team to decide who we want to communicate with, whether we stay in Missouri, go outside of Missouri, as well as the experts.
Okay.
Can you go back to your timeline?
Sure.
Okay, and I have on my timeline that October 23rd is when your reports to the board.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Correct.
great. Well, it certainly seems like a very well-structured timeline and approach, so I'm glad to hear you're involving lots of different layers of input.
Are we looking at all it, or is there a need to look at how we identify students to be part of?
To be the evaluation process to be part of the
Or is there
academy?
any need to look at that?
This is the programming side.
Okay.
We're not going to touch the evaluation side at this point in time. So if we did that, that would be more of an elementary and middle school, and that'd be a separate evaluation.
Okay.
Could you share what some of the concerns were and how this all came about?
So the concerns really started with the progression of social studies courses, but that kind of was a straw that broke the camel's back to open the door for parents to provide other concerns about the courses that they were offered, the opportunity to take high school courses as part of the academy. Some want more, some want less, some want more wraparound support like is available at the elementary level that they didn't feel like was available at the middle school level. So there wasn't just one concern. There were kind of multiple things that really made us kind of go back and say, let's take a comprehensive look at what we offer for our middle school gifted students.
And about how many students are being served by Mosaics Academy?
In 6th through 8th grade, around 40 to 45.
Okay.
So it's a very small number at the middle school level. It does fluctuate from year to year, but ballpark about 15 at grade level.
And are we staffed well enough for the 40 to 45, or if we have more or less, or how does that work?
I'll leave that up to the evaluation team
Okay,
to
okay.
determine.
Fair.
I think it depends on how the programming looks. So I
Okay,
think
sure.
we're adequately staffed for the programming we offer currently. Depending on how programming changes, we may have to look at staffing.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Schell. Okay, the next anticipated closed session will be held Wednesday, September 11th, 2019 at Parkway Central Middle School. Details of the closed session will be posted within 24 hours of the anticipated meeting. We will not take a recess because we are finished pretty early tonight. So may I have a motion and a second to adjourn the regular meeting?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you all for your attendance and best wishes for a great start to school next week.